Auset. Namaste. Why do you? My name is Sheikess Auset. Maya Sekhmet. Aoffa Bay. Once again, we're coming from you live in our community with our School of Culture and Refinement through the Moorish Science Temple as we teach who we truly are as sovereign beings on this earth and as darker people of our universe and world. And first, let's go over our 7 units: how to sew, how to cook, how to clean, how to take care of our children. Unit number 5 is how to take care of yourself. And in that, I also include how to take care of your husband for the women, and for the men out there, how to take care of your wives the correct way. Because now we're coming into a new unit of teaching. It was taught by ancestors long ago as we come out of this corrupt, cold, and evil world, as we fight spiritually, mentally, and physically to save ourselves and our children. And unit number 6 is how to act at home, and 7 is how to act abroad. And now, through our Moorish Science Temple, let's go over some lessons of why people are still people of color. Why are you still calling yourself Negro, Black, Colored, Ethiopian, and even African American? Then you still are not a part and parcel of the said government that you think you are. Noble Ali said that we as Moorish Americans are part and parcel of this government. And he's saying that because this was a government that was set up on the Moorish Republic, and stated with one of my ancestors who was the first president, Moorish president of these states of America, or Mexam is its correct name. And his name was John Hanson. And if you're still calling yourself these misnomers, Indians, Negro, Black, Colored, Ethiopian, African American, then you're still a part and parcel. You're a part and parcel not of the true Moorish government, through our higher knowledge, to what Allah has given us, but you're a part of a corporation. And this is how they can come at you and tell you what you need to do, because you don't know who you truly are under the civil codes, which are the slave codes that they're still functioning under, those who call themselves blacks and so-called whites. It's basically is human sex trafficking all over again, whether it is physical, but it's still mental and spiritual, even of children being trafficked. It's all looped in together. So as you carry yourselves as slaves under the corporation called the United States of America, whites are technically, they're called Europeans because they came over here. They were taught by my Moorish ancestors, the original Moors who ruled these lands long ago, before 6,000 years ago. See, the European, he's only known for his 6,000-year history. But we're universal under our Moorish ancestry. The European starts his history, as I said, after the Moors taught them some of the knowledge, which is only 33 degrees, which they give you out of their Masonic or Freemasonry lodges, which is really, water freezes at 33 degrees. So many are still on a dead level. For many are products of the Western civilization, of which is still in their place, but now it's going away, and hence that is why they're trying to get you to come up under their slavery, and their masks are being pulled off, but it's now crumbling, and they want you to go with them. Hence, they're talking about doing certain things as far as with this medical mandate, which is not a true law at all, getting you all to come under through your own will. You're really bowing down to them. For those of you that have gotten the jab and continue on, it is really a decision you must make for yourself to save your families. Don't get the jab. But that's how they're coming at you, through their jobs and through their corporations. You must refuse and say no, but that's up to you. That is a decision you must make. So getting back to that, water freezes at 32 degrees, so many are still on a dead level. Many are products of the Western culture of civilization, which is still in place, but as I stated earlier, it is now crumbling. This also includes fraternities, sororities, religions, which is all rooted in acting other than yourselves. Yes, at one time, there was the projection that the so-called black people were spiritually divine. And there's still the time, still got a little bit of time left to exert that. But many have fallen up under what they were taught by their European schools of thought. And this is still true. Unfortunately, this is a dying facade now. It's all Freemasonry too. Now, and this is some words I wrote on my own, and I'm just reading off my own paper. If you see my eyes glance over. Now, the ghetto, the communities rooted in democracy have become weakened with no power to save themselves, yet alone their own communities. Collective consciousness can never be triumphant over the doing for self and the knowledge of self, to search your own bloodlines, to study, to find real truth in who you really, really are. Education in Western society is rooted in falsehood and some truth. Most of it is falsehood. The main falsehood is that all so-called dark people or melanated people are all slaves. But in actuality, there were not 1 million people on slave ships who came here to the Americas in chains. I also would like you to reference the story of Alex Haley. Copyright disclaimer. I'm just teaching this for knowledge. And he was the one that made the book Roots, in which he talked about that his ancestor came as a free person and they made him a captive on the land. And get that book, and he talks about that, and his roots went back to Ghana. The so-called black preachers and theologians who are mostly trained all under Freemasonry were European, and the United States lodges are under Europeans, or so-called whites. They have no status at all, calling them whites, because they have given up their European ancestry. There were about 300,000 of these so-called Moors or Africanized Moors brought here as slaves or prisoners of wars. Many of us were already here living on these lands. That's where it comes in. You have to research your roots to find out if you were really here. And if someone in your family told you that you had Indian blood, some type, even though that's a misnomer, that's a start there, and then you can find your tribe. And there you can research and find out where your actual lands were. And you probably are a Moor, but you must research that to find that out. The other fact that they don't want to teach you is the Moors subjugated the white Europeans under a form of servitude slavery also first. And this is a secret they don't want you to know, because this is why they start their history in public schools. As a school teacher, I refused to teach this, and I was brought up before the board, but I won the case. And then they gave me my so-called monies from that case that I filed against them, and I won. And I was able to keep on teaching in their credentials, but now I'm free now, and I teach on my own. Praise be to the Most High, Allah. See, this is how they keep it going, because they start with 1492. They want to keep that covered, because if they were to teach about the Moorish history in their schools, it would gaslight them, and they would know. They'd have to teach that we taught them out the caves after they were banished to the caves and hillsides of Europe. And Europe is not that far from Africa. It's a tip of the Suez Canal, a few miles over. And they were actually banished out of the society. And that ties into some of the Yakub and the different people that they came out of. And we had to get them up out of the caves because they had lost the full knowledge of themselves. And true Masons know this, and they teach that to some of the people in the lodges, that they're depending on what degree they are. But they do know where they came from. But they want to keep that part secret that we taught them. So that's why they start basically with 1492 in their schools. Because they want you to think, and then they lie and tell all of you that you were slaves, because you don't know the real history. Now, I was taught the truth as a child, and my parents told me of their lands and the paperwork and everything and where I came from. So I had that blessing to know who I am and who I am. But I came into more knowledge, like you say, more degrees as time went on, to really say that who I am now as a Sheikess queen is a real bona fide truth. And so we thank Allah for knowledge, because we have to know who we are in order to go to where we're going to be as far as our spiritual, mental, and our physical perspective on life. And it goes for each and every one that are ready for a change. And this is hence why they're trying to force these inoculations on people, the jab or the shot, because they know you're in your awakening time now, and they want to take as many down as they possibly can. The rulers in place to get you to bow down to them. But say no to it, don't receive it, because it will absolutely affect your whole physical, mental, and spiritual perspective if you decide to get these jabs. And if you have, don't get any more of them. And if you're still alive, cleanse yourself to get these things out of them, out of your whole being, out of your physical being if you have subjected yourself to these shots. Don't get any more of them if you're feeling fine. Because this is what is destroying your actual DNA and your spirituality to find out who you really are, because they know this is a time of the awakening of all humanity, really. So refuse it and stand up for what you know to be the truth. So basically that was why they're keeping that secret now. They don't want you to find out. They're never going to teach you who you are, just put it that way. So you have to rise up with your own spiritual capacity to fight and to find out who you truly are as a sovereign, free being. Like I stated, the other facts is that there were about 300,000 of these Moors who were brought here as slaves or prisoners of wars. Many were already here living on these lands. Most of my ancestors were here already, going back and forth from the mainland into the Americas. So this is Upper Egypt. There were two, Upper Egypt and Lower Egypt. Lower Egypt was the Americas, and Upper Egypt was a part of North Africa, because it was all one landmass at one time. And Masons that are high enough to know, they know that this is Moorish lands. All of this is, but they just don't tell you all. They'll elevate the higher up so-called Negroes or blacks in their society and swear them to secrecy and tell them of other people that may not know who they are in the society, so you can try to get over on them and give them things and make them look down on others in the community. And this is a game they've been playing for years now. But it's time for those that want true knowledge to wake up and to save themselves and their families. Know what you already taught us. So we taught them first. We gave them civilization. We taught them some other teachings, not all of it. They only received 33 degrees. Really, it goes up to 1,280 degrees, which is some of what Dr. Malachi York talked about, and that's why they tried to shut him down, because he was teaching it all full speed ahead of what really was going on. So we want to stop right there with what we just said. But if you have any questions, you want to contact me or contact Rock, we'll be able to assist you further in this day and time as we see America fall. I want to thank you for listening again. We're coming back at you with some more of the 7 units, where we learn to refine and fashion ourselves more under the Most High. Because America is truly falling. And it's truly learn to love yourselves instead of hate, as Prophet really taught us. To have something for yourself economically, because now it's going to be forced upon you to do it. So we hope that you'll listen to what we have said under the name of the Most High. Pray that you make it through these trying times, coming together under love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. I am Moorish Sheikess Queen Auset, Maya Sekhmet, Aoffa I want to wish you peace, love, hotel, why do to you. Namaste. Peace and love. Islam.